this.
Survivors using any means they can to get help, as the mayor of New Orleans says thousands may be dead in this city, victims of Hurricane Katrina.
Tom Cameron Crazy.
Brett Huntley. David Bridget. John Chen.
Tom Brokaw.
Underwater, under siege, floodwaters paralyze New Orleans as officials move to evacuate everyone still in the city, including 20,000 people in the Superdome. Desperate wait, no shelter, no power, no clean water, no food. What's next for the victims in devastated Gulfport, Mississippi? And help on the way, how Americans near and far are trying to get help to those in Katrina's path.
Hurricane Katrina. This is a special edition of NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams, reporting tonight from New Orleans.
And good evening again from New Orleans tonight, a city underwater. The mayor here gave voice to what many had feared today, that thousands may be dead in these floodwaters. And tonight, officials at all levels of government are mobilizing to evacuate all 100,000 people still here. Tonight, we join you from inside the Old French Quarter on one of the few dry streets in the center of the city. This storm, it is now clear, will change life in this country. It has already transformed this region. The president confirmed late today it will take years to recover from this. There is a massive federal response on the way. For the survivors of Hurricane Katrina here in New Orleans, there were pleas for help by any means available, from people perched on rooftops or wading through the streets in search of higher ground for a second day in a row now. There are still rescues going on as we come on the air tonight. To the east of us in the Gulfport, Mississippi area, in many places, there's not a soul to be found or a building left standing. Residents are lining up in search of anything to eat or drink. And they, believe it or not, are the lucky ones. So far, Mississippi has confirmed 110 deaths, but the mayor of New Orleans again says the number dead in this city alone could number in the thousands. And the Pentagon is sending another 10,000 National Guard troops to Louisiana and Mississippi by the end of the week. That will bring the total deployment to 21,000 to this battered Gulf region. And that is just part of a huge effort by this nation's government and defenses to tackle the massive problems left in this hurricane's wake. We are covering this story once again from all angles tonight, and we begin with NBC's Martin Savage, who is here with us in New Orleans. Marty, good evening.
Good evening, Brian. You're right. It was a frightening statement that came from the mayor of New Orleans today when he was pressed on how many may have died. He said a minimum hundreds, possibly thousands. But today in this city, they were focused simply on surviving. The flooding in this city is leveling off, but 80% of New Orleans is still underwater. And while the mayor wants everyone to get out of the city, people here are still trying to figure out how to leave. Already thousands of people roam the streets in a mass migration looking for food, water, help, or just a way out.
All right now? They told us go to the Superdome. If you want to be rescued, go to the Superdome. All of a sudden, now they're telling us go to the bridge. Oh, we have very few resources. What are we supposed to do?
Among those in the confused crowd are thousands of tourists, far from home, far from help.
I feel like they forgot about the 100 people that were staying in the Dauphin Orleans, and we have nowhere to go. We haven't seen any cops, we haven't seen any National Guard, we haven't heard anything.
The Superdome, which was the shelter of last resort, has become the last place anyone wants to be.
Get us out of here! We want to get out of here!
The air has gone bad, the toilets are overflowing, tensions are rising among rival gang members inside. Things are so bad, state officials are now evacuating the evacuees.
Glad to see these buses.
Am I? This is heaven sent. Guess what? This is a blessing right here.
475 buses loading up to take these people with so little left to another way station, the Houston Astrodome, 350 miles away. Looting continued throughout the downtown area today. It isn't a game for many of these people. It's a matter of survival.
No, you're not supposed to do that.
I know we don't, but if we're barefoot and we're walking in the water, our feet is going to get cut.
But it's still dangerous. As police search this office supply store, elsewhere residents plunder at will. The filthy water shifts constantly, creating a hot zone for diseases.
We are gravely concerned about the potential for cholera, typhoid, and dehydrating diseases that could come as a result of the stagnant water and the conditions.
And cutting off access, leaving residents to hold up desperate messages for whoever might be watching from above. One of those flying overhead is President Bush surveying the scene from Air Force One. But the people on the ground are more interested in the Coast Guard helicopters who've come to give them a chance to live. This man finally arrives at a safe location, one more survivor in a city where so many are still waiting for a helping hand. Meanwhile, the Army Corps of Engineers says it will take weeks to pump all the water that's in New Orleans out. That's once they get the pumps going. Brian?
Martin Savage here with us tonight. Marty, thanks. And remember, at the Astrodome, at least they will have power and water and air and food. Think of the hospitals here in New Orleans. As you'd imagine, they are in perilous conditions, running on generator power, no running water, no supplies. NBC's Carl Quintanilla was on his way to try to find out what was happening at one of them when he ended up in a rescue situation himself.
This is the scene on Napoleon Avenue. A neighborhood of stately homes flooded to the front door. Choppers above us, our crew drives until we have to walk.
The water is getting too deep, and it's getting deeper. We're told there's a hospital about 6 blocks away, and we're going to try to make it there.
Each encounter gets more and more profound.
We got people in 3-story houses that's still trying to survive out in the houses.
An airboat offers to take us to the hospital, but it sinks in the maze of tight corners. We dig the boat out, and Stanley Bordelon, a volunteer who has brought 4 of his airboats to New Orleans, offers us a ride. But just as we reach the front door, we meet Terrence and Victoria Tunson, swimming up to their chins, a young married couple who say they need to find their father stranded at home.
Dad, he's trapped in a house.
Slowly, we reach their street, and it's suddenly clear this neighborhood is packed with people who never left. We finally see Victoria's father. He's built a raft out of the back door and uses it to get to our boat. So does the dog, Scoops. As we head back, we learn the hospital has no patients. They've all been airlifted. But there are 1,000 employees and family members inside waving down at us. Across Orleans Parish, 2,500 patients have been evacuated from hospitals. Finally, on dry ground, Victoria and her father are lucky. They'll try to get to family in Houston. But the hard part is all too clear. Missions like this are going to have to happen again and again and again. Carl Quintanilla, NBC News, New Orleans.
There is no quality of life, period, in this region tonight. And aside from journalists being waylaid to help the stranded all around this area, volunteers are showing up just to offer to help. Brittany Fullard is an EMT student from Baton Rouge. She, along with her boyfriend, Steve Woodward, a young teacher, made their way to New Orleans just to see what they could do. Here is what they experienced here today in their own words.
We came down last night. We got here at 8 o'clock. Today, she's been working in the triage, and I've been helping unload the helos as they come in. Right past those ambulances, there's a line of people. We're waiting for the buses to come back. Then we're going to get y'all on the buses and get y'all out of here. It's hell. I mean, I can't imagine what these people are going through, losing everything they have, you know, and I volunteered for a day, 2 days tops to be down here to help as best I can. There you go, buddy. They're going to go that way. You follow them. Can't even describe it. You just hope that you get these little ones. They get these little ones out and they get them to safety before any of the little ones are hurt. You know, and there's only so much you can do. You help one person and you turn around and you got to go straight to the next.
He's been going forever, 30 hours straight, but he's not gonna stop. He won't stop.
Just trying to stay busy, you know. Less time to think about it.
Brittany and Steve, 2 volunteers from Baton Rouge, Louisiana tonight, in their own words. Tonight, the U.S. Navy is sending 4 ships loaded with food, water, soap, and medicine. But for residents in neighboring Mississippi, those supplies can't get there fast enough. We have 2 reports from the Mississippi front tonight, beginning with NBC's Lester Holt in Gulfport. Lester, good evening to you.
Brian, good evening to you. The only thing angrier than Katrina are the thousands of hungry, tired, and thirsty that Katrina left in its wake. A handful of stores finally opened their doors today, and the people of Gulfport were ready for them.
It's going to be very, very slow.
Along Highway 49, homeowners hearing word of an open water pipe lined up for water, possibly the only running water for miles.
We need water, we need ice, we need food.
And at Central Middle School, now an emergency shelter, a child found relief from the heat in a rain puddle. Storm refugees here ate their first hot meal in days.
Thank you very much for the food.
Hundreds huddle in dark, sweltering hallways where frustration is high and nerves raw.
FEMA is also moving supplies and equipment into the hardest hit areas as quickly as possible.
In fact, help has arrived. This morning, these National Guard troops emptied 6 truckloads of water, ice, and food to thousands of people who'd waited in line. In 4 hours, it was all gone.
Yeah, it got out of hand a little bit. A few elderly people pushed down, water taken from them.
Several hours later, a second handout proved more orderly. But what residents here don't have is reliable communications, with phone and cell service largely down. Local radio tries to keep residents abreast of services and supplies, but many find themselves dependent on the rumor mill and word of mouth.
I just drove by and saw it.
And until basic services are up and running again, the people here have no choice but to go along with the flow. Lester Holt, NBC News, Gulfport, Mississippi.
This is Campbell Brown in Point Cadet, Mississippi. It is just a place on a map now. Most of the people here had little money, many elderly with no way to leave.
All of them just stayed in the point and basically just drowned.
Today, rescue teams searched house to house, looking just to recover bodies. They say there's no longer any hope of finding survivors.
Do we have resources to extract?
The local morgue is overwhelmed, and so are the people who escaped Point Cadet.
I don't know where nobody is. Nobody, not my sister, my brothers.
Darlene Nix, who barely got out with her own life, is still in shock. At a Biloxi grade school, Kayetta Robert is helping the survivors find their way.
We have a lot of people here that have not only lost people, but are not exactly sure where some of their other family members or neighbors went.
One of the people at the shelter, a 10-year-old boy. He managed to survive this wreckage, but his immediate family did not. Tonight, he's waiting, hoping someone he knows will find him. Campbell Brown, NBC News, Point Cadet, Mississippi.
In Washington tonight, even though few people around here could hear his words, President Bush tried to calm the nerves of millions of Americans, but he also cautioned this recovery is going to take years. More on that tonight from NBC's Kelly O'Donnell.
After 29 days away from Washington,
just received an update.
President Bush was back in the Rose Garden, flanked by cabinet officials to preside over a crisis destined for history.
This recovery will take a long time. This recovery will take years.
The president listed by the truckload a massive government care package to the region, including more than 5 million meals, 13 million liters of water, and 135,000 blankets.
The challenges that we face on the ground are unprecedented.
Earlier today, the route back from Texas to Washington included an Air Force One detour. Dropping to an altitude of just 2,500 feet, the president surveyed damage over Louisiana and Mississippi for 35 minutes. The president's simple priorities are difficult to achieve: saving lives, rebuilding communities. Mr. Bush will visit the region later this week. Kelly O'Donnell, NBC News, the White House.
Up next from here across the nation, fallout from Katrina continues at the gas pump. You may be paying over $3 a gallon for your Labor Day weekend drive. And later, how Americans are mobilizing to help the victims in any way they can.
My mom has arthritis. Taking Bear keeps her music playing. My brother has a bad knee. Taking Bear keeps his game going. And what really amazed me was when Bear helped my father keep living. He took it during a heart attack. Bear helped save his life. Nothing else I know does so much. So when I'm in pain, what do you think I'm going to choose?
Genuine Bear, like no other pain reliever in the world. Nature fanatic, health nut. Grape nuts eaters have been called many things.
Bear? Bear!
Fortunately, they haven't heard a word of it. The unique nutty crunch and delicious taste of grape nuts. Live life your own way.
I am dedicated. I am disciplined. I am determined. And I'm a diabetic. That's how I feel when I test with my meter, the AccuCheck Aviva.
The new AccuCheck Aviva system, designed to fill correctly and test right the first time, to make every strip count. The AccuCheck Aviva. Switch to the system that makes every strip count.
Medicare. It covers hospital stays and doctor visits. But for many people, something's been missing. Until now. Prescription drugs. Starting November 15th, sign up for Medicare's new prescription drug coverage. Everyone on Medicare is eligible. You could save hundreds of dollars a year, but you have to sign up. Call or log on for a free booklet on getting started. Find out how Medicare's new drug coverage can work for you.
It is now clear this is the most serious event ever in the lives of millions of Americans. And today, this story developed now far from here. It's now about gasoline nationwide. Tonight, prices for a gallon of regular gas are at more than $3 across this country. And remember the days when we had to line up to buy gasoline? Here is NBC's chief financial correspondent, Ann Thompson.
In hurricane-battered Mobile, Alabama, gas lines are hours long and tempers short.
Man, there wasn't no rule, there wasn't nothing there.
While across America, everyone's feeling the economic wallop of Katrina. Today, $3 a gallon gas became a reality in Kansas City, Champaign, Illinois, Huntington, West Virginia. The prices rising right before drivers' eyes.
So it went up 50 cents in a matter of 5 minutes.
In Bethesda, Maryland, Bob Tompkinson has raised his prices 3 times since Monday, frustrating him and his customers.
They're asking us questions, when do we think the price is going to start going down? Unfortunately, we don't have a good answer for them at this point.
And it's not just worries about prices going up. There are some shortages in Indianapolis. Most of the 23 stations in the Crystal Flash chain are out of premium and running short on mid-grade and regular. Supply is so tight, President John Madden is having to ration what fuel he has to his stations and commercial clients like the city of Indianapolis.
If we've only got so much available, we've got to do the best we can to see who gets it and who really needs it.
To help ease the supply crunch, today the Environmental Protection Agency waived its specific fuel requirements for different parts of the country, meaning gasoline made for New York can now be sold in Chicago and vice versa. But no matter what kind of gas is sold, today it's now unbelievably expensive.
You got to pay the price, whatever it is, you know. Life goes on.
One more shockwave in the wake of Katrina. Ann Thompson, NBC News, New York.
This was an up and down day on Wall Street, but stocks did finish higher. The Dow gained more than 68 points, closing at 10,481. NASDAQ was up more than 22 today. And still ahead here tonight, how Americans are mobilizing to help ease some of this misery.
In the future, everyone will protect their eyes from sun damage like they protect their skin. Transitions lenses. They automatically adjust to changing light and block harmful UV rays and glare. So don't wait until tomorrow. The danger is here today, and so is the protection. Ask your eye care professional about Transitions lenses. Transitions, approved by the American Optometric Association.
A rainforest, the ultimate torture test for your deck. Thompson's Water Seal Advanced, the ultimate protection. It seals out 99% of the water right from the start. For a longer lasting deck, get the most powerful protection against water damage guaranteed. Thompson's Water Seal Advanced.
How Hank Tricked the Hound by Shaw. Ah, look, Hank chose Shaw Unscented, while Stanley goes for a macho smell. There they go, they've done it. Oh no, here's Rex, nose on their trail. They split. And look, Rex only tracks down Stanley. Ooh, too bad, Stanley. Because Hank chose Shaw Unscented's 100% pure odor-free protection, he seems undetectable. Nice thinking, Hank. Shaw Unscented, protection that's undetected.
Some things men don't want to talk about.
Like prostate problems. But I learned 1 in 3 men will have them. So I switched to One-A-Day Men's.
A complete multivitamin plus lycopene, which Harvard studies suggest may help prostate health.
Some things aren't healthy to talk about.
One-A-Day Men's.
I love baseball so much. If I could play instead of sleep, I would. But my mom always thinks about my asthma. She worries when I wake up and start coughing at night.
Do more to help control your child's asthma. Ask your child's doctor about Singulair. Singulair helps prevent asthma symptoms before they start and helps provide effective 24-hour control in a once-a-day chewable tablet. Singulair is not a steroid and is available for children as young as 12 months. Singulair is also approved to help relieve seasonal allergy symptoms. Singulair will not replace fast-acting medicines for sudden symptoms. Your child should continue taking their other asthma medicines as prescribed. If asthma symptoms get worse, contact your child's doctor at once. Side effects are generally mild and vary by age and may include headache, ear infection, sore throat, and upper respiratory infection. Join the millions of people with asthma who have discovered Singulair.
I just want to play. Play!
Ask your child's doctor about Singulair today.
We have a big international story to tell you about tonight. It also has to do with a great loss in Iraq. More than 1,000 people, most of them women and children, are feared dead following a stampede during a religious pilgrimage today. NBC's Richard Engel has our story from Baghdad.
It started out an impassioned pilgrimage. Several 100,000 Shiite Muslims commemorating the death of one of their martyrs. The crowds were already on edge after 4 mortars landed nearby, killing 7. Then, as thousands crossed this 300-yard bridge 30 feet above the Tigris River, somebody yelled they saw a suicide bomber. Some pilgrims jumped, others were pushed, more were trampled. We fell down on each other, said this woman. It was death, death, death. At local hospitals and on the street, the injured were lined up along with the dead.
Iraqi troops have now sealed off the neighborhood as people continue to leave the area. Most people say they blame Sunni insurgents who have in the past attacked Shiite pilgrims for causing the panic that led to this fatal stampede.
Hours later, a haunting image on the bridge. Sandals, people kicked off their feet to run faster, to escape a suicide bomber who wasn't there. Richard Engel, NBC News, Baghdad.
When we come back here tonight, how Americans across the country are lending a hand.
Sometimes you just can't get away from high cholesterol. When diet and exercise aren't enough, adding Lipitor can lower your bad cholesterol from 39 to 60%. And if you have several common risk factors, Lipitor can reduce your chance of a heart attack by 36%. Lipitor is one of many cholesterol-lowering treatment options in addition to diet and exercise that you and your doctor can consider. Lipitor is not for everyone, including people with liver problems and women who are nursing, pregnant, or who may become pregnant. Simple blood tests are needed to check for liver problems. Tell your doctor about other medications you are taking or if you experience muscle pain or weakness, as these may be signs of a rare but serious side effect. Ask your doctor about Lipitor today.
I get headaches a lot. Some weeks it's like I get one every day. It was so frustrating. I used to take anything in reach. I knew some medicines caused stomach problems, but my stomach felt fine. And then I found out, even if you don't feel it, aspirin can be damaging to your stomach. So maybe there's some problems going on that you don't even feel. I'm not okay with that.
The pure pain relief of Tylenol works fast on your headaches and is safer on your stomach.
It's the all-new mid-size sedan with a luxurious full-size cabin, protected by 6 airbags, standard. More interior space than Camry or Accord. The all-new 2006 Sonata, a Hyundai like you've never seen before.
Pennsylvania to surprise our newest millionaire.
Oh my goodness!
Betsy, you've won $1 million in the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes.
Whoa! Isn't that something? Thank you, Publishers Clearinghouse.
Next, after nightly news, how a ham radio operator in Portland helped with the rescue of a woman stranded on the Gulf Coast. Plus, Northwest rescuers packed their bags. The rescue squadron ready to swoop down and help with aerial rescue.
I'm Matt Safino. We've got some fine weather to take us into the Labor Day weekend. Find out if it'll last through the holiday. All the news and weather coming up in a few minutes at 6.
We're back here in devastated New Orleans tonight, and as soon as the magnitude of this disaster started to sink in, Americans across this country started trying to figure out how they could help. And tonight, many are either already on their way or trying to ease the pain somehow in the wake of this mighty storm. Here with that, NBC's Ron Mott.
On a hot Mississippi summer day, a hot meal.
Okay, first hot meal, 4 or 5 minutes.
Chili and green beans, a refreshing fruit cocktail. Sandra Douglas and her 2 boys, along with scores more at this Baptist church in Biloxi, are the recipients of generosity now stretching across America.
Without them, we don't know where we will get our next meal from. There are not many stores open.
This feeding station is one of a half dozen sent by the Southern Baptist Convention from several states.
If you see a brother in need, you're supposed to minister to him, and that's what we're doing.
Empathy is coming from everywhere. In Minnesota, volunteers who normally fight forest fires pack for a 1,200-mile drive south for the most basic reason.
I think we can do some good.
In Long Island, New York, Jennifer Vumbas reaches out to Katrina's victims over the internet, opening her heart and more.
We have a dry home, we have electricity, we have food and water. We'd be willing to share it.
In Georgia, a FEMA warehouse dispatching 1 million meals and 300 trucks of water.
You just feel so small when the people there thank you for bringing them water.
There is one big problem with so much aid arriving to be distributed over weeks, even months. Nearly every warehouse along the Gulf Coast has been damaged or destroyed.
I need a 50,000 square foot building right now. If you got one, call me.
For today, Sandra Douglas and her boys, like so many of her neighbors, grateful to see the best of humanity revealed in the worst of times.
To see if your sister coming.
Ron Mott, NBC News, Biloxi, Mississippi.
And we'll repeat this. For more on how you can help, you can log on to our website. That's nightly.msnbc.com. And so we head into another night here in